Hi, so continuing our video on the A to Z of sales in business. Today we're on F through to J. Hi, I'm Nick Gray, the business coach, helping business owners like you to work less, to live more and generally have a better business. Now, sales is a key part to any business. There's many others. And to see the videos on how to improve your business, hit subscribe on the YouTube channel and get these videos straight to your inbox. So let's get straight into it. But before we get on to the F of sales, let's just start with understanding that what we're doing here is not techniques to pull the wool over anyone's eyes. This is techniques to help your prospect make the right buying decision and increase the sales in your business. So with that in mind, F is for feel, felt, found. Now, what's feel, felt, found? Feel, felt, found is just one way to overcome objections. We'll come to objections in another video, but essentially what we want to do here is make people feel right, make people feel heard, and let them know that there's more that you can do. So feel, felt, found. Let's say that your objection is it's too expensive. What might you say to them with feel, felt, found? Or you might say, well, I understand that you feel that it's too expensive. A lot of my customers felt that way when I first spoke to them. What they found, though, is when we had a longer conversation, that this actually paid for itself. And in the long run, they were better off financially. So what we've done there is we've made them feel right, made them feel heard, made them feel like they're like everybody else because other people have felt the same way and that there's more to hear. So that's overcome that objection, hopefully. More to that in another video, but the next one we're moving on to is G. G stands for go for no. So this is really about knowing your numbers. Let's say, for instance, that you're making sales calls, and how many sales calls should you make to get a customer? Well, unless you're measuring your numbers, you won't know that. But let's say that you're making 100 sales calls a week, and you're tracking that. You're recording that as 100 sales calls, and you're recording the number of qualified leads that you're speaking to, and that's 30. And then you're recording the number of those that turn into appointments. That's 20. And then you're recording the number of those that become customers. That's 10. So from 100 calls, you're getting 10 customers. So in other words, 1 in 10. So when we know that on average, some weeks it's going to be more, some weeks it's going to be less, but on average, we're getting 1 in 10 people say yes and becoming a customer. When we know how much that customer's worth, understanding your lifetime value of a client, then we know how much each one of those 10 calls is worth, because we know that for every 10 calls we make, we're going to get 1 customer. And let's say that one of your customers is worth £1,000. Each one of those phone calls is worth £100 to you, because 9 no's takes you on to 1 yes, which is worth £1,000. So every one of those calls is actually worth £100 to you. That gets you a lot more motivated to make those calls, which might otherwise be no's. So G is go for no. H is for doing your homework. Now, in this internet age, 70% of your customers will be doing their homework on you before they've even picked up the phone to you or got in touch. So it's important before you have your meeting with them that you do your homework on them. Be professional, understand. So if it's a B2B meeting, you might do a search on Google for their business, for them, search LinkedIn. Perhaps see if you've got similar connections. Maybe there's an indication in there of their hobbies or where they went to school, some sort of point of interest or commonality, as we mentioned in the previous video. Also, you could have a look on Facebook. Be careful not to come across as too much of a stalker, but you could quite easily say, look, as part of my due diligence for potential prospects, I search a lot of their different media platforms, and I see that we're connected to the same people on there. Do you know so-and-so? So just be careful not to overstep the line. You don't want to come across as a stalker though, but do your homework and be professional about it. So what is I? Struggle with this one a little bit, but it's about selling the invisible. If you're in a service-based industry, what you're selling is not tangible. It's not something that people can pick up and say, yeah, that's great, I want one of those. Much the same as what I do with business coaching. It's selling the invisible. So how do we make the invisible visible? Well, there's a great book about this which goes into a lot more detail. But essentially what we want to do is we give them something tangible, and maybe as part of the sales process, you can send them something to make this feel tangible. Maybe an info pack, maybe with some things in there which gives them information like a brochure, something quality to reflect the quality of your business. So, and while we're on that subject, with your sales process, the higher the ticket item that you're selling, the longer your sales process will probably need to be, because you need multiple touches in there to build that trust from the prospect. The more touches you have, the more engagement they have and the more trust they feel for you. And an information pack is a great thing for them to be doing. So J, similar to Go for No, but J is just do it. Now, most salespeople actually that I hear about from business owners I speak to or in teams, they're often account managers or order takers. Fewer and fewer people tend to make great outbound calls. And the reason for this is because we're fearful. We're fearful of the unknown, fearful of rejection. It goes back to that deep-rooted psychology and having to be part of the troop. And if you got rejected, then that meant negative consequences for food and for reproduction. So that's deep-rooted in our psyche, that fear of rejection. So we've got to overcome fear. Now, fear stands for false expectations appearing real. And what that means is it's never as bad as you think. So just do it. Just pick up the phone and start dialing, and then think about the consequences after. It's about your comfort zone. The more you do something, the less it's going to be outside your comfort zone. You're going to be better at it than you think. So better to get the activity going, do that activity, and then look at quality afterwards. So let's just recap what are those 5 items we've mentioned today. So F is for feel, felt, found, overcoming those objections. You can use that in most cases. G is for Go for No. Know your numbers. Know how many numbers, now how many calls or whatever it is, sales it takes to hit the sale, prospect to sales, beg your pardon. H is for homework. Be professional. Do your homework ahead of time. I is for invisible. Sell the invisible. Make it visible. Make it something tangible that they can relate to. And J is just do it. So listen, I hope you liked those. Come back to the next video or watch the one before this. I'm Nick Gray, the business coach. Until next time, have fun.